I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome everybody. First on our agenda tonight is to approve the agenda, so I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as posted and sent to the news media 24 hours prior to the meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Palmer,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Lamos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the leadership statement. I just want to read this for everybody. The City of Hampton endeavors at all times to promote and model the principles of professionalism, trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting this evening's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner and consistent with these principles. Thank you. Next item is the council workshop report from Monday, July 22nd or 21st. I won't read it to you, but it is available online if anybody would like to review that. Moving next on to the public comment section. So does anybody have public comment this evening?
I do.
Okay, step up to the podium. State your name, please.
Michael Arndorfer, postmaster of the Hampton Post Office. I'm here in regards to an incident that happened yesterday that could have been avoided if all the proper steps would have been taken by the city to remedy the problem that was in place. And I'm speaking about a carrier that was bitten by a dog yesterday, and it was pretty severe. He got 10 stitches, three different puncture wounds, and I'm a dog lover myself, so I don't like to see anybody lose their dog or have this happen. But the issue is, at the residence, there's a big 30-foot camper parked in the front yard, on the yard. And my understanding of the city rules is that is a no-go. Campers are not to be parked on a yard. The dog was sitting on the front steps behind that camper. The carrier did not see him till he got to the back side of that camper. The mailbox was by the garage. The dog came running. He had no reaction time other than to throw his arm up and suffer the consequences from that dog. And the sad part is the owner was sitting out there on the steps, didn't grab the chain, didn't holler the dog's name, and didn't even ask my carrier if he was okay. But the whole situation, in my opinion, could have been avoided if the city would have done the proper steps to remove that camper from that person's yard. From my understanding, from my carrier, it's been there several weeks now. And my question is, why? Why is it still there? When my grass gets too long, I get a notice in the mail that my yard needs to be mowed. Mm-hmm. And I do it the very next day. So my question is, why are we letting that go 3-4 weeks before we have that resident move their camper out of their front yard? Plus, his driveway is full of ATVs, cars. My carrier had about a 4-foot walking path to even get to the mailbox. So I just think we need to do a better job of enforcing the city laws that we have in place so that situations like this don't happen. Because I don't want to see this owner lose his dog. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I don't want to see that happen to anybody because the proper steps weren't taken. Had that camper not been there, my carrier delivers the mail across the street. He turns around, he would have walked across the street, he would have seen the dog sitting on the front steps and avoided that house altogether and moved on to the next house. Issue remedied. No dog bite, no report have to be filed to the police department, no report have to be filed to my higher-ups. It would have solved a lot of issues if we just did the things that we're supposed to do per our city laws. So I just wanted to come up here and put that out today because he almost passed out from the bites. So it was pretty severe.
All right, and I understand that we are, I appreciate your comments on this. We are aware of this situation, but we are following the protocol under our current ordinance. So it will be taken care of, and there will be a hearing held for the dog and the owner to speak their piece. So, I know you're here tonight, but if you want to
Yep,
come when
I
we
will-
schedule
I will
that
be
meeting,
back.
please
Yes,
be
I will be
there.
back for that
Please
meeting.
be for that. and
But
then
I
we will
just
take
wanted
care
to
of
be
that.
here tonight to express my concerns.
Yep.
Another thing that I was told, it's not there now because I went to try and get a picture of it, but I was told by my carrier that for over 6 months, there was a sign in the window of that house that said condemned. So my other question is, why do we have somebody living in a house that's been condemned by the city? The sign isn't there anymore, but it was there for over 6 months, according to my carrier, and he would know, he delivers there every day. So that's another concern I have, that we're allowing people to live in condemned houses
Right.
that they shouldn't be living in.
Yep. And we'll talk with the necessary people on that as well. All right?
For your time.
Thank
Mike.
you.
You have to come to the
Val,
podium.
step up to the podium and state your name, please.
Okay, my name is David Johnson. Matt Johnson is my son. Now, what I don't understand, very clearly, all of you should know this. I get a notice to move a ladder on the side of my house. I got so many days, I had 9 days to move it. What in the heck is this going on with this here? Why don't they have somebody down there getting that done? It just doesn't get done. And everything else, I got a couple of other things. Okay, on 7th Street, they've put in a new curb. This much a gap between driveway and the road. You got to drive your car through that thing and it falls in it. It's been like that for a very long time. I can't figure out why the city ain't doing something about that. Number 2, this dog, or whoever the people are, or whatever, life could have been taken, and it's no reason for it. I just got to know this man a few weeks ago, and I'll tell you what, he'll vouch for it that Matt and Tracy and the Couriers, they like him. They don't have nothing against him. Everybody likes him. But this dog, if it has rabies, it could be life-threatening. I mean, I have a small dog, okay? I think now that they should be at least 5 to 10 feet away from the mailbox so they can't be there. Or we got dogs that are tied up, no food, no water, no nothing. It just goes on, and it's got to stop. You as the mayor, come on, let's wake this city up. I mean, it's time things get done. I have a water problem. Gentleman back there, I forgot his name. Went there, we looked at the water. I have it coming back up out of my drain, you know? And the thing of it is, it ain't the sewer, it's the water from the street. I had 8, 10 inches in there 3 times. And it's taking care of my hot water heater each time. I'm pretty sure my freezers are down there are shot. They're it's gonna take time and they'll just burn out because of the water. And now I'm trying to get it fixed. I'm getting Morris out here and everything else to get it to stop coming in. So I mean, the city needs to take a look at this stuff. Gentlemen over there, we talked a while about it and everything like this. And then, what I don't understand is one people say, oh, it's the city's fault. Then the other people say it's something else. Well, I don't know. Something's got to be done. But this dog thing, okay, I don't know how many of you got children. He's my youngest child. I tell you what, it's very scary to know that could end because of a dog and then nobody wants to do anything about it. Mm-hmm. And it's time that this city does something about these dogs and everything else. I mean, I know one family has got 4 dogs. They let them run loose. And then all of a sudden they call them back in the house. Then I know one that's got 3 dogs. One puts it out on the sidewalk, one puts it over here. No food, no water. That's cruelty to me. I'm a hunter. I don't do that to tie up a deer and let it starve to death. I retrieve it. I like the food, okay? As simple as that. But this here with the dogs, it's getting to be ridiculous. And a man like this right here, he'll vouch that Matt and Tracy are good carriers, and people will vouch for them. Mm-hmm. So that's what I got. I'm angry about it because it could come to a serious point.
Absolutely. And,
it's not good. I talked to somebody that lost a son by a motorcycle, because they were talking about my little smart car. Well, the thing of it is, you don't have much with the motorcycle. A deer hits you, it's done, Mm-hmm. But that smart car, I'll say this, a raccoon comes out, if it does, it takes my radiator out. It takes they're really low. I don't drive it in the winter time if I can help it. Yep. So, okay.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your input, and again, like I said, the dog insight isn't being handled according our current ordinance, so there will be a meeting on that and have an official hearing
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
what,
Yep.
I talked to the son, I guess it wasn't tonight or something, or it's, I guess next time or something like this.
We'll
But I just do
have it
think
set up.
that, you guys have the power. It has to be ordinance.
Right.
You can't be letting this dog business run all over. It's terrible.
Yep,
'Cause,
I agree.
These guys that deliver mail, why? Snow, rain, everything else.
Yep,
Now they got to fight against dogs? No,
yep.
that ain't right. It's just constitutional belief. It's not right.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment this evening?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Juan Bello, and I just come today also because I need to know, about the meetings, before about the fence beside my house. And I mentioned in the last meeting, I'm happy to see the kids, youngers, teenagers, they play over there in the, in the escape area. But now we try to avoid, we hit somebody else, because now the kids are using my parking lot to going to the place. And if make reverse or something, are distracted, they got accident, and I don't like to that. So I need to know, or I need very soon you get the fence if you, approve to that one. But now it's a problem.
Okay, well, that's good to know, because I think we will be addressing the fence this evening, so,
Yeah. Thank you.
all right, thank you. Any other public comment this evening? Hearing none, we're going to move on, and we appreciate everybody for your input. First item, we have, next item is public hearings. We have none of that. We have no old business to take care of, so we will move to new business. The first item is to consider it awarding the Image of Pride for July 2025. Mr. Davies.
Yes, I have July, and I'd like to nominate Daryl and Mary Ellis Paulus of 424 11th Avenue Northeast for the Image of Pride for July. Been by their house numerous times. It's just always, the lawn and the landscaping are just beautiful. They take really good care of their yard, and they're just, I think, a good example of what an Image of Pride is.
Very good. And I understand they're not going to be,
Yeah, they're not.
couldn't be here tonight.
They could not be here tonight.
To accept the award, but we have a motion by Mr. Davies to award the Image of Pride for July 2025 to Daryl and Mary Alice Paulus at 424 11th Avenue Northeast. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Second for Mr. Holmstrom. All in favor?
I'd like
Aye.
to ask something.
Discussion?
Couple other award nominees had their pictures on the TV. Could we start doing that?
Yeah.
We haven't do that.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Davies and second by Mr. Holmstrom's. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and congratulations to the Pauluses, and we will get them their award and get the sign posted into their driveway, or into their yard. Next item, we have consider a request for a street closure from Charlotte Jansen.
Hi.
Hi.
We are asking for the barbecue contest on August 23rd and 24th. If we could close First Avenue Northwest, First Avenue Northwest at 5th Street Northwest, and then right about where Foley Inc. ends and Brad's alley back there, we'd probably block that off, and it would start at 4 p.m. Friday, and it would end probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And then on Saturday, we'd like to go from that same beginning point that shows on your beautiful map that I did. And Saturday morning, we'd like to block off from there, and then just at the end of the Foley Inc. building where those two vacant houses are, because we want to be able to have people to be able to exit and get into Fairway. And I've talked to Fairway, they would not have any deliveries that late on Friday. And so that's why we chose 4 o'clock, because there might be people beginning to mill around in there. And then on Saturday, they only have like vans that come in, and it's early morning for a couple of deliveries. And we can easily just let them in and then wait till later when they're all done and close it.
Okay.
Other than that, what that shows you is kind of where we're putting people, and that street is basically going to be open. It's just going to be crossed a lot.
Okay. So it looks like there's a Saturday morning shows, but it kind of look like they're blocking that west driveway of Fairway, or are you going to be east of that? Or west of that?
You would be west of their driveway.
Okay, so you're not going to block either one of
No.
their driveways? Okay.
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Lamos.
Family Dollar have any deliveries or anything?
Nope, I've talked to Family Dollar, and she said they can use, anybody that wants can use the parking lot for parking, which is nice. She's going to let us put our garbage back where their garbage is, and we can use her dumpster. We've got, she said we could block the road off so people won't drive through there. She said she'd do anything that the city needs and the town needs to bring people here, which I thought was
So
great.
all the businesses are okay with it?
Yes, yes, I've talked to Family Dollar, Fairway, Fully Inked, Brad Payne, Lance Studer, Access, of course, they're involved, and then the only one we haven't gotten a hold of yet is Eugene LaRue.
The only question I have is, why wouldn't you want this at the band shell?
Well, we would, but our main concern is there's not enough electrical outlets downtown. So if we did that, the cooks have to use generators, and we didn't want to disturb houses and apartments, and we just needed a place that was out in the open. And so Friday night, there is, KLMJ is providing music downtown at the band shell, I think like 7 to 9.
So that, they're gonna have to use generators here, aren't they?
Yeah, but there's no houses there.
Oh, right there.
The one across the street. Yeah, and I've talked to everybody around there, except that one. Mark suggested maybe I might not, I could take him with me or something.
I was
That's
under
creepy.
the impression when all this started and we were talking about it at the chamber and everything, that this was an event tied in with the car show, which is what we need, is more of that.
It is,
Coming
and
together.
we've worked together in planning it, but the problem is the car show needs the park, they clean up the park, and they need that on Saturday afternoon and stuff, they don't want people in there. And we originally wanted to go to the fairgrounds, but because being the first year and cost, we didn't. And so what we all decided, Chamber and everybody, is let's just do this, see how it goes, and we'll critique it afterwards. And if we want to move it downtown, see how loud it is. Some people have very quiet generators, the newer ones, some aren't.
Right.
And we go to a contest in Yuma, Arizona, and they go downtown in front of the businesses all the way around the main streets, and it works nice. But just the first year, we were trying to avoid anything that could cause negativity, which I'm sure that'll happen, but
Right. Okay, any other comments on this?
I'm happy that you contacted all the business owners and
Yes.
they're okay with it.
actually, Fully Inked wants to stay open and see if they can get any business
Why not?
off of it. And so I'm putting all that information in with packets for the cooks and then the judges that come the next day on Saturday, so they can visit our shops and stuff.
And you're basically using the street, not the access parking as well, or no?
Access is giving us their whole parking lot. That's
Okay.
where the cooks will line up and be arranged.
Okay.
So the Saturday morning, that Fairway Drive into the parking lot is not blocked. Just the delivery area,
The delivery area would be, but we're going to wait until they're
but
done with their
not the
deliveries.
driveway into the parking lot.
Right, yeah, that driveway that's
I
in
just
front
wanted to be
of
clear on
Lance
that.
Studer's on the corner.
Yeah.
That one wouldn't, but the other one probably would be, because then they can exit on Highway 3 or go over to the other side. So, and if we have to, we can move it down further.
All right.
And they also said they'd cooperate and do whatever we need, and we'll do what they want us to do. And then my only question is, do we provide the block, or will there be like a street, does the city have like street barricades, or?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. We'll have them dropped off.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I also want to say, it sounds like you've done your due diligence, to get this set up, so. I mean,
I've
it's-
tried,
I
and they come with
appreciate
some
that.
pretty strict restrictions and stuff. They
Yeah.
have a book that they really want you to follow, because they
Yeah.
do these all over the United States, so.
Yeah.
We're only starting with between 15 and 20 cooks this year. And we've got them coming, there's 2 from Nebraska, 1 Minnesota, Missouri. And we're hoping we pick up a few more between now and August. These guys aren't real quick, because they pay $300 to $350 just to go to a show.
Right.
So it's kind of expensive for them to put 10 spots down. So we're hoping we pick up a few more.
Yep. All right. Any other discussion over the road closures?
Just
Or
wanted to
Davies?
just make a comment, Charlene has worked very closely with the chamber and like with the car show and with Adam Akers, with the veterans, all Iowa band that's going to be here, and Caleb Jake. So those entities have all been in very close communication and working together on that and doing marketing together. A lot of the posters are
Yep,
where
Tracy
it
just
would
called
work
me
out to
on
do
that.
so.
We're working on that stuff now. That'll start coming out. One misconception for a lot of people in town is that they're going to be able to come around and eat free food, and that's not the case. It's a contest, and, these guys buy above Wagyu meat, like their brisket, and it costs them a lot of money, and also that way we don't have to have an inspector here and stuff, so. Yep.
So then, is there a ticket for the public to get in, or how does this work?
They just come and wander around, and,
So then you would buy individual stuff from each vendor?
well, you can. We're not doing that this year because the Kansas City Barbecue Society says start small. And so what we did, I'm working with the cattlemen, and the cattlemen are going to have on Friday night, are going to have a kids barbecue. And they're providing the steaks, and kids 12 to 18, they're going to hold it to I think it's 15 or 20 that they can get around their grill. And they'll come and they're cooking their steak, and then they'll judge it on a smaller scale just to encourage future. Next year, one of the events we can offer is the People's Choice, is what you're talking about. And the other thing we can offer, if we do it next year, is called Backyard. And those people are people that live in this area. Some go across the state, and they fix a chicken and ribs, and then they turn it into the judges. Usually they do that on Friday night, and then they win money for doing that too. Basically what we do, the city does, the businesses here have provided the pot of money that they win,
Right.
which has been $10,250.
Wow.
It's just very, very nice.
Yeah.
So we don't get to eat?
Yeah, we don't get to eat this?
Next
We
question.
will probably make sure that
You
you
could take
guys
judging.
get
I'm
invited to
just-
the
I'm just saying-
sponsors meal.
We're gonna have the town full of barbecue smoke, and someone says, no,
And it
can't eat
smells
this.
Hungry.
so good.
Hungry.
You need to become a judge like Councilman Davies did.
Right.
I don't like green, baked beans, and I don't like mustard. There's so
Oh, they
much stuff I
don't, they
like.
don't put,
they don't
they don't
the
use
meat.
baked beans.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just meat.
Yeah.
It's a meat contest. And they don't use mustard like you see on TV very
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Sometimes they might.
Yeah, I think you've pulled, a lot of people are pulling together on this with the chamber, and there's going to be events happening on the at the band shell, as well with the car show, on Sunday and stuff, so it's pulling it.
And we have a couple evaluation sheets for afterwards, and we're going to sit down with the chamber, and Joel Orr mentioned today to talk to Main Street about what we could do differently and stuff, and I said, we're open if the city wants to continue to do it. This is just
Sure.
kind of our first shot deal, want to keep it small. One of the reasons it's small is there's a huge contest in Wisconsin, and a lot of the bigger Iowa guys drive 5 hours up there and go
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
But they said if we could get it off this weekend, well, we want it to go with something else too. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of coordinating.
Yep, yep. Well, good. Well, any further discussion at all? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the request as submitted for the street closures, 33 and 400 blocks of First Avenue Northwest for the bottom barbecue event.
I'll make a motion for the barbecue event.
A motion by Mr. Lamos,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Greefy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
You are approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the,
Mayor.
yeah, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
would
ahead.
ask, maybe we should move the 4 and 6 First Street Northwest discussion ahead. We got Derek from ISG on Zoom, and then
Okay.
we'll get that taken care of and then come back.
I'm fine with that. Let's
Okay,
do that.
all
Yep.
right.
So we'll move to consider 4 and 6 First Street South Northwest, cleanup related expenses. Mr. Dunn.
Thank you, Mayor. So as we talked about at the workshop on Monday, we're nearing the bid letting for the asbestos abatement phase of the project. And there's some things that have to be dealt with. One is the amount of debris and junk that is in the basement and the first floor that would be helpful to remove, that we feel will be helpful in lowering potential bids for asbestos abatement. The less that's in there to have to work around, the easier it is for the contractors, and that would be reflected in the bids. I would turn it over to Derek with ISG, who's overseeing this for us, and have him add to what I've talked about. Derek?
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Apologies for not being there to join you today, but thank you for allowing me to call in. So the abatement bids will be opened on Wednesday, so those are due July 30th. And when we did... I guess dogs are the topic of the day. So those bids will open on Wednesday, the 30th, and when we did the pre-bid walkthrough, there was comments from the potential bidders for the remediation work that if all of the debris, the junk, the personal property in there wasn't removed, they would have to remove it in order to do their demolition and to do their work, and that could drive costs up significantly. So we've organized a few contractors, have a couple of bids for the city to consider where we will have that removed beforehand. And Ron and the Public Works crew have offered to have the city coordinate the dumpsters and the roll-offs. And so what we're looking to do is get some labor, get a couple of quotes, and have that material removed in advance by more of a general labor, local contractor, instead of the specialty environmental contractors that will come with the environmental remediation work.
Okay.
So, Derek, one of the things I think we're looking for is for council to give authorization for me to approve a contract with a contractor to remove the debris. We don't know who we're going to go with, and we don't know the amount. So we were thinking maybe the best if the council authorizes a cap dollar amount for us to move forward with this project. And also, Derek, part of the debris removal, there's another component of stabilization of the beam prior to the abatement process. Is that correct?
Correct. So, thanks, Ron. There's a temporary stabilization that we'll do in one of the buildings. so that the environmental contractors can do their work, and they'll need to access the roof for some of that. So we've had our structural engineers design a temporary stabilization, temporary shoring to stabilize that beam. So that would be included in there. And yes, we've seen this in the past where if we have some urgency to get the work done before another council meeting, where council will consider authorizing the city manager to review bids and procure a contractor to do work up to a certain dollar amount so that that work can take place and that can be authorized without having a special council meeting or waiting a month in order to do that work. We're currently targeting to start that remediation work in September and wrap that up in early September and to finish that in mid-October.
Derek, do you have a suggested amount for authorization amount?
Based on the bids that we've seen to date, I think 20 or 25,000 should more than cover what that potential bid could come back in.
Okay.
I think I'd be comfortable with a $20,000. I think we'll see. I know we have one below that threshold, and we'll see where others come in.
I had a little
Mr.
bathroom
Lemos.
break. All that cleanup is going to be going out the alley entrance.
Not necessarily. Some may come out the front, so we may have to block off some parking spots temporarily.
That's my only question.
So I guess I would ask for, if the council, of course, ask any more questions that you have, but ask for a motion to authorize city manager to approve a contract for cleanup not to exceed 20,000.
Right, that would just be the cleanup. not
Yes, the cleanup and then
abatement's gonna be
the one
separate.
beam stabilization.
Yep,
I
okay.
make a motion to have the city manager authorize the cleanup.
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Lamos, and a second by Mr. Palmer's, to allow Mr. Dunt to authorize the cleanup not to exceed $20,000. Is there any other questions?
Is that
Discussion?
25,000 or 20?
20. That's what we said, right?
Yeah, 20.
I may have thought 20.
Oh, I thought I heard
Yeah,
him
I
say
thought it was
25.
20, yeah. So, we've got a motion by Mr. Lamos, motion by Palmer, second by Mr. Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
So, thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much.
All right. Moving back, one time up. Consider the employee handbook amendment. Mr. Dunt.
Yeah, so as we also discussed at the workshop, proposing to amend the residency requirement by giving the city manager authority to make exceptions to the residency requirements based on the individual circumstances and personnel needs.
All right, and we kind of went over that on Monday. Is there any further discussion on that one?
Is there any legal issue with requiring residency?
I don't know. I have not researched that, I guess.
Could you ask?
If there
Could you
is,
ask one of our city attorneys?
could. If there is a legal issue, I think this helps that by adding this sentence because it loosens it and doesn't make it, a strict requirement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have a-
Discussion?
I have a question.
Mr. Holmstrom.
On the printout that you had given us, Ron, it had the amendment 2025, and you used bold print on the last two sentences, but the actual only thing that's changing is that very last sentence?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay, the other was already incorporated
correct.
into it?
Yep.
Okay. I did have some comments. I thought about this quite a while, and I understand the difficulty and pressures that you have in finding good applicants for these vacant positions within the city. And I do agree that making this proposed amendment would greatly relieve some of those obstacles for hiring somebody for our employment needs. However, how would this affect the retention of our employees? I mean, the hiring and the recruitment, this would be great. But I'm questioning the retention of the employees. And I think it might be negatively affected, so much so that it would outweigh the benefits. Because if you allow these residency changes to be made, the new hire would have absolutely no investment in our community. No family investment, no investment in our school system, no investment in our churches or organizations, and no investment in our businesses. And the chosen hiree could come to Hampton, and Doug could spend quite a little bit of money, I'm imagining, training him and cross-training him for the multitude of tasks that he would be required to do. And about the time he became an integral part of our city workforce, all he would have to do is start looking for a new horizon or a new opportunity to leave once he's got the experience behind his belt. And let's say the guy came from Mason City, and he found an opportunity where he got the experience in Hampton. He could snap that new job in Mason City, and he wouldn't have to worry about selling his house. He wouldn't have to worry about moving his kids out of school. He wouldn't have to worry about it if he had children, or he or she had children, and athletic opportunities to remove the children from that. He wouldn't have to worry about leaving his church. If the spouse of the employee found a second job in Hampton, they don't have to worry about her leaving her job because they're not residences of Hampton. And they never would have to utilize any of our businesses if they live perhaps in Mason City and just call Hampton the workplace. So I really understand the situation you're under. And I don't know, maybe I don't know how we could advertise this need better to get more applicants for the position, because, I mean, perfectly honest, I mentioned this job to my son-in-law in Clear Lake, and he said exactly what I was thinking, that if I was a young man and this job for the city opened up, full-time position with IPERS and all the training that you're going to get and the benefits associated with that, if I was a young man, I would jump at that job. So I'm really struggling to find out why we can't find an applicant for it. And I understand you're not finding that applicant. It just blows me away that people aren't jumping at that job opportunity. And I really would like to see that young man invest in the community of Hampton and not live in Mason City and just drive up here for the job. Not to mention the availability issues that are there. And we talked about the availability issues at the workshop, and you thought that would be we could work around that, and I understand that. But once you train him and invest in him, if he seeks another opportunity, he would, there's nothing holding him back to second guess whether I want to take that opportunity.
Mr. Dent?
I would say that there's nothing holding back any of our current employees from seeking another opportunity today. And I don't think that anything we can't do anything to stop our current staff from trying to better themselves if they feel the need to better themselves. And I would also add that you brought up a concern of maybe this would hurt the retention of our current employees. But I would ask, the fact that we are down one employee hurts and risks our retention of our current employees because they're stretched thin, because we're down an employee and we can't be as productive and efficient as they want to be. And when you're short-staffed, they're working on something and we need something else comes up, and then you have to pull an employee from what they're doing, and it just it gets compounded when you're short-staffed. So I would say getting a good quality candidate in place, bringing staff up to have full staff again, will help relieve some of the stress that's on our current employees.
I understand what you're saying, Ron, but I think maybe you misunderstood what I was trying to state. When I'm talking about retention of the employee, I'm talking about retention of the new hire, the new hired person. And of course, anybody can leave at any time. But like I said, if that new hire isn't invested in our community, it's not a struggle to change jobs or look for other opportunities, where if the individual, like our current employees, are residents of Hampton, when they make that decision, it's not just a decision to jump ship. He's got to think, how is this going to affect my family? How is this going to affect my children? Am I going to have to sell my house? Am I going to have to leave my church? Am I going to have to find a new place to do whatever business I'm doing in town? Does my spouse have a job in Hampton? Maybe she has to give that up. There are so many things tied to that employee. It's not just a new job. It's a whole completely life change with everybody that member of the family that's invested in our community. And I know that the other employees are struggling being short-staffed. I have no doubt about that. And that's hard to do. But I don't know, Ron. I understand the predicament you're in. I really do. I just think the one outweighs the other.
I think, I'll hear it right with you, Mr. Palmer. I think we need to look at this a little bit differently. Retention and recruiting are two different things. Am I wrong? You're recruiting a new hire. We don't know what's going to happen. We're not going to play hypothetical situations out in our mind because we don't know what's going to happen. We're saying, hey, guy, would you like to come to work for us? They say yes. It's up to our city staff, Doug, Ron, to retain them people. It doesn't go hand in hand. We need to recruit, number one, then retain them. That's my thought.
I mean, and this all stems from, Bill, kind of a history lesson on this, is back in the day when they wanted every employee to own a house in Hampton. And you spend your money here and you work here and you own your house here. My God, they lost their minds when Randy Lenth came here as city manager and rented a place. My God, he should have bought a house. He's part of Hampton. He's getting that paycheck. And then they lost their minds when Jim Wabshaw lived like 75 feet out of the circle of where we could live. They lost their minds on that. We amended that. So, I mean, I'm glad that my wife's allowed to work at Metalcraft in Mason City, which is a 30-minute drive. And I'm glad that when the pandemic hit, she was allowed to work at home. I mean, it's like no different than our city staff out there. If there was a chance that there was a big enough snowstorm or whatever, they could at least work at home, remote in the computers and do work. I think this builds the labor pool because evidently the labor pool isn't in Hampton for this job. Or nobody wants it, one of the two. But the times have changed so much with people having two incomes in their family. I would hate to see somebody have to move to Hampton, then their wife has to commute. If that person drives from Mason City to Hampton, unless they bring their sack lunch every day, they're probably going to get something at one of the restaurants or something, and then they're going to probably once in a while fill up a tank of gas in Hampton. So it's more of a changing of the times thing, and I get what you're saying, but I think it's more of a beat down for the employees that got to do 2 and 3 times the work. If the work can be alleviated a little bit with somebody that's good, and like I said, employees can leave for any reason they want, and it doesn't necessarily mean we had. Evidently, one employee left because he didn't get enough attaboys, from what I've understood. But anyway, I think this is good. We need to encourage this, and we're a training ground for lots of stuff. It's just like going to work at KIMT. You're a training ground for bigger TV stations, and it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, we've got some great employees. We've had great employees that worked here 45 years. That's kind of the people we're replacing. So it's not that bad of a place to work. And my wife's worked for 19 years at Metalcraft. She hasn't minded that drive. This last year, she only had 2 days that she had to call in because she couldn't make it because of snow. So the last couple of winters have been mild too. But I have a hunch if you're a snowplow driver, you're going to keep a little bit better eye on the weather than my wife would.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not going to take a lot of time, and I really understand the pros and the cons, but they put in these residency requirements for a reason, and a city employee is not, I don't know, when I think of city employee, and I think of going around with Doug, and all of the cross-training that's involved in the city employee, it's quite an investment that you have in your employees to get them to this point of the experience point where he actually is contributing to the city of Hampton. And that's the guy I want to retain. Because then you're not going to find yourself in this position that you're in now where you're going to be short-staffed. And I just want to make sure, I don't know how you marketed this job. Was it just, I don't know if it was a notice in the newspaper or the radio, I don't know how it was marketed. Maybe that's an issue. Maybe you didn't get the candidates, and I'm not accusing, because I don't know. I do not have any clue how this was advertised. But perhaps we could look into that to get more candidates close by. I don't know, Ron, but I want you to know I appreciate your position, you know, and you know, I just think there's two sides, and I'm just leaning the other way.
No, I get it. I want to make a couple points. And Ron's job is to advertise for these positions. I think he does a fabulous job. We need to have faith in him that he's doing the right job. We're not going to micromanage how he places his ads for these positions. We
No.
can't do that.
No, I wouldn't
We've
want
got
that.
to just trust him as in his job to make them decisions. And the other thing I just want to make, we've got six council people. If somebody doesn't disagree, vote no. That's all we got to do. You know, the majority of us decide that we need to do something, then we do it. Yeah, if you don't agree with it, you're more than welcome to vote no. So,
I think we have been through this issue with the PD, trying to find officers, and it's
exactly.
just the way of the world. You have to hire people that are qualified, and hopefully they stay.
Yeah.
Mid-American Energy's the same way. It was like a revolving door for 20 years.
Yep.
And they used to have a residency requirement. Now they don't. People drive half hour, 45 minutes. And they deal with the weather also. So we got to accommodate our employees as much as we can.
Yep. And I appreciate everybody input, and even if you don't agree with it, that's fine too. Mr. Davies?
I was just going to say, I understand the reasoning behind residency requirements, but just looking at history, it's become less and less important. In fact, it's pretty much outdated now. I think we just need to be as flexible as we can.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, I just want to hire the best man or woman for the job,
Exactly.
irregardless of
Yeah.
how far they drive or
Yeah.
where they live.
And we can't make anybody a job. We can't just say, we hired you, you're here for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, whatever. We can't do that. So, we don't know the future, and we got to go with where we're at and what we got, what we know.
I move the handbook residency requirement.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the home employer handbook amendment for residence requirement for the city manager authority to make exceptions to the requirement based on individual or circumstance and personal needs. And I had a motion by Mr. Palmer, second by Ms. Griefes.
Nope, Tristan.
Kristen, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking up. I'm upset that you guys are different parts on the table. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Motion carries. All right, next item. We need to consider the skate park fence approval. We talked about this on Monday evening as well. So, Mr. Dunt, we have some more information.
I'm just going to pass out, this is the numbers that you saw at the workshop from River City Fence for the vinyl two-tone with the winged ends, 8-foot additions on each end, that combined total is 112 feet. That was the one that you were considering. That was $8,376.63. Then there's a picture of that particular fence. And then there's some additional pages in here, pink pages, that Doug received from River City Fence for a 4-foot tall galvanized chain link fence. That is the same length, 96 plus 16, so it'd be the same length, galvanized, 4-foot tall black vinyl coated chain link on the next one. The next one is 6-foot tall galvanized, and then 6-foot tall black vinyl coated. And then there was another page that was handed out from D&N Fence Company, Cedar Rapids, a 4-foot galvanized chain link, 112 foot, 4,800, and a 6-foot galvanized chain link fence, 5,200. And in addition, I think we should talk a little bit more about the gravel edging. I've been up there trying to drive by it at least once a day. And I've been noticing some of the gravel making its way onto the skating surface, which is not good. There are some options that have been kicked around, as such as spraying a sealant on the gravel that would hold it in place. Doug's got some prices on that, but I'm not sure that, I think, and this is just my opinion, that's maybe designed for an area in landscaping where you're not going to have foot traffic going over it. It's going to be sealed and stayed, but I might be wrong. But I think at the skate park, you're going to have some foot traffic crossing that gravel, getting onto the court and coming off. And, you know, if a skateboard makes its way off of the park, then it might bump that. I'm not sure the sealant is the right alternative. However, we can discuss that. Another option is to have staff go up and scrape 3 inches off of the gravel and then put dirt down and seed it, and that will eliminate any future problems with gravel. So just tossing those out there. I guess I would just open it up for discussion on the fence itself and then the options in dealing with the gravel.
Go ahead.
I don't have any complaints about the fence, except for my request to have a second bidder. And having the chain link is not getting a second bidder.
You come up to the podium, please, Doug.
So I'm still waiting to hear back from that other company that we found at Cedar Rapids, I think is where that one was. So online, I went online, I plugged in, it's like an Angie's List, but a search engine, to try to find some other bidders, some people that would get back to me. I think 3 of them got back. One of them was like, we can't get that with the S-curve thing. Then there was another company that said we're in Cedar Falls. They said, it's funny, they said we're out of range, but the company in Cedar Rapids didn't. So I thought that was ironic. So I did talk to a few more. Honestly, if you guys want more options, there's a plethora of these options. I'd be more than happy, but we're going to have to table this, and it's going to take time. I guess I was under the impression that we wanted to do something as quickly as possible because it was getting built, and then I thought you wanted some noise. That's why we went with the solid, more so than the chain link, because it was also a noise thing versus just a barrier. But if you wanted just the barrier, I get it. But like I said, if you guys want to pump the brakes a little bit, I'll get you every bit of information, but I need some time. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and it's not that I don't want to give you what you want, but I got you some information in a hurry, and that's kind of where
This
we're
is
at, I
just
guess.
one of those things where we should have planned better. You know?
Yep.
We picked the location,
Yep.
put the pad there. We never thought about noise or
Right.
or trespassing.
Yep.
but I'd like to see right now if you could put some fence posts with caution tape or something
Sure.
to keep,
Right, we could even put snow fence up for right now if you'd like or something.
well, yeah.
Yep.
To keep people off his property.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I know there was a lot of, there was conversations went with the homeowner, when this all started last
Yeah,
year
yep.
sometime. You know, so, you know, so the reach out was made, things are changing, and we need to deal with them, you know. So I think where we ended up Friday or Monday night was that we wanted to get this fence moving and get that on for them. Chain link, like I said, that's not gonna help privacy and it's not gonna help noise. It's an open fence, so I don't think that's gonna do it. If we have options for that, then, you know, if we wanna take the time to look for them, great. If we don't, then we can entertain a motion to go with the fence that we have. Mr. Palmer?
Same way with the dirt and the rock. That's not a high priority right now. Even in the spring, we can see how the winter has settled that rock and
Right.
settle everything, and if we want to plant grass over it or whatever we want to do with it. But the main thing is, we made a deal with the homeowner, and we we're going to get this fence done.
Yep.
And I think we ought to hold up our end of the bargain, just to prove this and get it done, and then we get that bench worked in that we're working with the veterans folks with, and trash can, and park closes at 10:30 sign, and away we go.
Yeah, I agree. I
Well,
think we need to, go ahead.
If there's, we had that reduced cost because of the base.
Yeah, it was about 1,500 is what that was, so that,
Well, in the future, I'd like to, they make them benches in Iowa Falls.
yep,
We're gonna need more than one bench there.
okay.
And, the city could just put some with no names on them.
Yeah, I'd like to get a porta potty up there as well, as one of the other considerations. But, the good news about this project too is not just the savings there. And yeah, we missed a thing or two here, but we did it without an engineer. Could you imagine if we'd engineered this? So we tried to do our best with what we had, and we tried to do it expeditiously.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss a couple
Yeah,
things.
we're call it a work in project progress. We need to get that fence gone because we've made the deal for the homeowner. So we need to move on that. The other stuff, I agree with you, let it settle, let's see what happens through the winter and this and that.
We can
Let's
always
look
add
at it
dirt.
next spring and see what we need to do there.
It'll help
Till
for
then, we
drainage,
can
too.
can we send somebody down there to sweep the rocks off every night,
Yep.
every morning? That wouldn't, I'll go do it.
Got nice blowers, wouldn't take long.
So, yeah, so I think we need to look at the fence. If we're gonna get approval on the fence that we settled on Monday, that'd be great tonight. So,
Okay,
go ahead, Mr. Coleman, Mr. Holmstrom.
Doug, you say $1,500, that was on the
That
base?
was the
That's what-
savings for, yeah, I was anticipating a little bit more of savings, but it really, when I started looking at the big numbers or looking at the numbers, the pad itself is only a 50 by 80, so really there's line item. I think the original was gonna be like 3,000 some odd dollars to core that out, and then, once they didn't have to core it out that far and they didn't have to haul in a bunch more rock and different things for the sub base, they found, I think, it basically reduced that portion of their bid about half.
Okay. And I don't know if you were involved, but we were talking about the warranty issue. If the city were to put that up, would that affect that warranty? Did you check that out?
That, I have not gotten to that yet. I apologize, but, and honestly, if we were to go, and if the city is gonna do this, why, we go to Menards and grab a fence and throw it in if that's the route you guys wanted to go. You know what I mean? That might be cheaper.
And I got a question for you, and this is off the wall, but the playground equipment in Harriman and East Park, did the city help with the building of that at all? I know the Kiwanis paid for it, but I didn't know if the city was involved in the construction.
I think the part we were involved with, because we had to show some in-kind for that, we did the barriers. We installed the barriers, and
Okay.
I think that's about it, wasn't it, Jim?
I can maybe answer that question. The playground company, when Kiwanis worked with them, they provide that opportunity to have volunteers come, and they have supervision to do it. So that's how they do it. So yes, they helped, and the city did help, like with the chips underneath and helped out. But the whole playground that we worked with, that whole process involves volunteers, and that's on working as a part of the manufacturer and the assemblers. And that's not the case with fencing. So it's two different things.
That helps, Jim, because I didn't know
Yeah.
if that affected the warranty with that project, if the city helped, but, okay.
Okay, any other questions, discussion? So I would entertain a motion to approve the fence that we talked about Monday night.
Second.
Let me get the motion out first, or the, first. I requested 112 feet of the Chesterfield vinyl privacy fence with almond posts and rails and S-curve planters on each end for a total of $8,376.63. So who had the motion?
Second.
Ms. Griefy with the motion, second by Mr. Palmer. Any other further discussion?
I think we're gonna have a nice little park up there when we're done.
It looks great and people love it. So,
I guess it's my night tonight for discussions.
okay,
I really like the idea of the fence, and I like the fence. And in fact, the aesthetic appearance of the selected fence with the corner definitions is very appealing. But I'm wondering if those corners are necessary for the purpose of the skate park. Because you have an asphalt base, currently we have a rock edging, you have 96 feet of boundary fence. I would think that would be sufficient to establish a definitive boundary. And if you feel a child will wander around this boundary and out of the park because of no corner, whether there's a corner there or not, if the child wants to wander around that park, he's going to wander around that fence, with a corner or not. But another concern I have with that corner is it provides a safety issue. Like Ron, I've driven past there several times, and if there's a corner on that fence, you're providing a hiding place for a possible incident to happen. You can't drive past that and have a clear, unobstructed view of the park if there's a corner on there. So I don't think we want to be creating a safety hazard with the corner. We need to be responsible with these spending practices. The corner looks nice, but is it justifiable to spend another $1,500 for that corner? I know there's a lot of things in my house that I'd like to do that I think it would look really nice, but I know my wife's going to say, can you justify that, spending that money? And that's what we're doing with the Hampton residents' money, and that's $1,500 for a corner that I don't really think we need. It's a beautiful fence with the corner or without the corner, and we have the definitions, and I don't think we should be providing a hiding place in the corner for the kids. I mean, I like the project and I want to approve the fence. I just don't think we need the corners on it, and I think the corners aren't worth the $1,500 we're putting into it.
thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna vote on the fence as discussed with the corners, with the S curves. And we've got a motion by Ms. Griefy, second by Mr. Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes, opposed.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we gotta spend some more money. Sorry. We got approval of the claims as submitted by the staff in the amount of $289,758.57.
I would like to make that motion to approve that.
Motion by Mr. Holmstrom's, second by Ms. Rhodey, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, we've got a resolution of 2025 12-16. This is the public purpose policy for the expenditure of funds for the city employees, elected officials, and members of the boards and commissions. Mr. Dunn.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas pursuant to provisions of the Hampton City Charter and statutes of the laws of the state of Iowa which permit and require the expenditure of public funds for public purposes, the City of Hampton believes it's necessary and appropriate to document a purpose for the use of certain public funds. And whereas a public purpose expenditure is one which relates to the purpose for which the City of Hampton exists and the duties and responsibilities of Hampton, its elected officials, appointed officials, employees, and other representatives. And whereas there are occasions when public dollars are expended on activities to promote employee morale, to purchase meals of persons engaged in city business, related activities to the benefit of the entire community, whereas this resolution is intended to comply with the auditor recommendations on detailing public purpose of certain expenditures and guide requests for such expenditures. Now therefore be it resolved, public purpose guidelines shall be set forth as follows. Public expenditures for appropriate Hampton employee, volunteer, or community member milestones, recognition programs serve a public purpose because formally recognizing employees, volunteers, and community members who make significant contributions and demonstrate their commitment during the performance of their duties and activities result in higher morale and productivity among all Hampton employees, volunteers, and community members, therefore help the city to fulfill its community responsibilities efficiently and more cost-effectively. Public expenditures for food and refreshments associated with certain official City of Hampton functions serve a public purpose when the provision of food or refreshments is an integral part of the function and is deemed necessary to ensure the meaningful participation by the participants and successful community outreach. Public expenditures for appropriate community outreach and serve a public purpose when those expenditures are necessary for Hampton to ensure the efficient operation of its programs, services, promote the availability and uses of city resources, and promote coordinated cooperative planning activities among and between the public and the private sectors. Whereas specific programs and expenditures shall be as follows. The City of Hampton expenditures must be valid based upon the public purpose for which it's purchased. The following items are deemed to meet the council's definition of public purpose expenditures. A, city employee recognition awards for superior performance, years of service, or upon retirement, as determined by the city manager. The city supports recognition plaques, keys to the city, food, refreshments, non-alcoholic, in recognition of retirement for employees, volunteers, community members, and elected officials. Public expenditures for city logo, attire for staff and elected officials as approved by the mayor. D, flowers and plants. The city may send flowers or plants to the employees or family members of employees and or elected or appointed officials who are suffering from a serious illness, hospitalized, or who have experienced a death in their immediate family. Immediate family should be that as defined in the employee handbook. The maximum city expenditure for said gifts, flowers, or plants for illness and death shall be at the discretion of the mayor or city manager. Sustenance supplies. The city manager may approve the purchase of sustenance supplies for the city's use. These supplies will include, but not limited to, the following items: coffee pot, coffee, tea, water, soda, coffee creamer, coffee filters, sweetener, paper products, including plates, cups, utensils, paper towels or napkins, and any other products deemed necessary by the city manager and falling under the term sustenance. Snacks, meals, and refreshments. The City Council recognizes that situations in which city business needs to be discussed can and do occur during meal times, for instance, luncheon meetings. In addition, there are public and employee meetings and events in which reasonable refreshments may be necessary to create a more productive environment and to be responsive to participants' time schedules. The following items are deemed to meet the council's definition of public purpose expenditures regarding food and meals. 1, snacks, meals, and refreshments are allowed at city meetings and events that have a purpose of discussing city issues. 2, snacks, meals, and refreshments are allowed when they are part of a breakfast, lunch, dinner meeting for official city business when it is the most reasonable time to meet. Usually these meals involve meetings with city council members or committee, commission members deemed to meet public purpose guidelines for the community or customer outreach and marketing of the city. One addition that I failed to mention at the workshop when we were talking about meals, food and refreshments. As an example, the Citizens Academy that is held once a year, where you may have 12 to 15 people meeting over the dinner hour for, I don't know, is it 3 or 4 hours each time? Yeah, and so in the past, since it is a dinner hour and they're in here for 3 or 4 hours, we have had provided food and refreshments, but it's provided by Mark out of his pocket and Doug out of his pocket, sandwiches or whatever it is they serve, so, and refreshments. That's an example of what the city would cover so that they wouldn't have to use out of their own pocket. That's the resolution, so turn it back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right. Any discussions, any further discussions on the ordinance?
That was a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. That's a lot.
Years ago, we had a planning session or something, we held it at Godfather's, and I don't remember if the city picked up the bill on that, or we paid for ourselves.
Can't remember.
Probably chipped in.
Pass the hat.
Yeah, there's probably not a lot of such situations where we do bring in a meal, but there is occasionally situations where it's appropriate. So, any other further discussion? Otherwise, we will put this to a roll call vote.
I move Resolution 2516.
A motion by Mr. Palmer.
I'll second.
Second, I
Christian
think
seconded.
Mr. Crest, Miss Rudy's got the second.
voice.
To approve Resolution 2025-16. The roll call vote would be Mr. Palmer,
Aye.
Ms. Griefe,
Aye.
Mr. Holmstrom,
Aye.
Mr. Lamos,
Aye.
Ms. Rudy,
Aye.
Rhodey, Ms. Davies,
Aye.
Mr. Davies, sorry. All right, the resolution is approved, thank you. I wanted to just point out something really quick in here. This talks about the public expenditures for city logo attire for certain situations. I just want you to let you know that the shirts like Ron and I had on the other night, them are available for us if you want to go over to Got You Covered. It's, I think there's an charge fee, but you can go get those out of your own pocket if you want to purchase some. All right. Moving on. Consent agenda. This will conclude the approve the previous minutes from Monday, July 7th, 2025, regular session. Sections schedule the next regular session for Thursday, August 1st, for the Thursday, August 14th, 2025 at 26 o'clock p.m. and approve alcohol relicensing for Tierra 115 First Street, 24th Swets, Fairway Stores, 309 Second Central Avenue West, Top of Iowa Lucky Wife, 303 Second Street South, Sway City, Iowa, 50590 for sales at Pete's Plaza during a special events on August 19th. I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Lamos, second by Mr. Davies. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for your patience. We got through that one. Brings us to our staff reports. Chief
Yeah, we had a busy couple of weeks with increased arrests in the community, and then also a couple of vacations we've been working through. So that means I work by myself, try to get all the admin stuff done and answer calls and do the investigations and all that stuff. But we're working through it. Also had time yesterday and today to make rounds with the Public Works Director, check on several nuisance properties, try to grasp where we're at there. And then, of course, as you've heard already today, we had a dog bite yesterday, which will come before the council. A homeowner's dog bit a mail carrier. We were not able to have that meeting tonight because of the 72-hour requirement before the meeting. So the dog is currently under quarantine at the Hampton Vet Center for 10 days. I would recommend that we have a special meeting, as the next meeting will not be until August 14th. That would allow 21 days before we could get it. So I would suggest a meeting next week sometime, and preferably before the 10-day quarantine was up. So that would put it sometime around Tuesday or Wednesday is what I was
So
thinking.
looking Tuesday or Wednesday is what works for the council. Anything?
You pick. I don't care.
Everybody good with either date?
Quicker the sooner the better.
Exactly. Okay,
So Tuesday,
let's do Tuesday.
6 o'clock?
Tuesday, 6 o'clock.
That's the 29th.
29th, yep.
That should allow time for us to get it served, pending there's no problems getting him served. That should give us all day tomorrow.
Yep.
Still have time.
Yep.
That's all I have unless there's questions. Go ahead.
Was that dog up to date with rabies
We're
vaccine?
not going to discuss it right now. It's not the hearing tonight, so we can't discuss that anymore.
And this happened yesterday?
Yes.
Yes.
Why wasn't something sent to the council members yesterday?
Do you want one sent every time there's a dog bite?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of being blindsided,
Yeah.
especially with as vicious as that was.
Okay.
We have 72 hours to get the notice and notification to the dog owner, correct? Okay.
Well,
So
I'm not
if
talking about the dog.
You're not gonna get it.
I'm not talking about the dog or the owner. I'm talking about the city council.
We're here tonight.
Yeah, I'd be-
And you're
I'd
getting
be glad
notified
to-
of it.
Now, aren't all the streets patrolled every day? How could you not miss that trailer sitting in that yard?
I don't think we did.
Is it something going on about that now?
Yeah,
To
it's
get it
got
off there?
It's got a notice already out. There is due process in that process. It initially started in the street. We served them for that. Unfortunately, he moved it to the front yard. We served him with that, and now we're waiting out that process.
How many days is left on that?
That I'm not sure.
Now, if he doesn't comply, can you go in there with a pickup and hook on it and take it out of there?
Unfortunately not, without a court order.
We have a problem with that in Hampton. Too much stuff sitting in people's yards that's never moved.
Yep, we have to follow a process.
Yep. Definitely.
That's why we have 47% blight here.
I have a question for him, Chief.
Yep.
If it's okay. There was an issue about the condemnation notice for that address. To your knowledge, has there been a condemnation notice issued for that address?
I will have Public Works Director address that. There was in the past, but there was some back and forth with that.
Okay. And the reason I asked that is, I drove past that house today also, and there was something on that front door, and I didn't walk up to look at it, but it looked like a condemnation notice, and so I don't know if it's current.
It wasn't necessarily a condemnation order. I should have removed that a year or so ago, possibly. Basically, what stemmed from, there was a rental housing issue up there, and then our city attorney advised that there was not, and so it didn't proceed any farther than that, and we were advised by legal counsel to not take it any further than it was, and the play card just happened to stay up there for all this time. I would have thought the property owner would have taken it down by now because
Okay,
they've been there.
so the answer is no, it's not under a condemnation notice.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
and hasn't been for a long time.
okay.
Mr. Lamos?
Could you tell us what breed that dog was?
It was a boxer mix.
Mayor.
Mr. Palmer?
So out of a random house that was randomly once condemned with a random trailer in the yard, who was all let know about it? I mean, Bill drove by it. How did he know?
I found out this morning that there was a dog bite incident. So and of course, because of the history I've had with this issue, I called up the postmaster and I said, can you tell me what happened?
Oh, okay.
And that's how I gathered my information, and that's how I drove past the house.
But yeah, if there's an issue with something like this, I don't want to be blindsided by some citizen that was here earlier and taken to task over this because some guy didn't tie his dog up. You know, there's personal responsibility too, and I don't want to get into it because we're going to do that another time, but I can't blame a trailer for some guy not tying his dog up. But anyway, that's not time for that.
So the dog was tied up on the property. And, what was I gonna say? There's not enough time to have a hearing tonight, and, Mark was planning on giving this in his report.
Right.
So he was gonna notify you during his report. You heard about it before he got a chance to give his report, so. But in the future, he can
Yeah.
let you know sooner.
Certainly. We can
Yeah.
give more.
Appreciate it. That's all.
And I think the only one thing I want to add to that is that if there's something like this, there is a due process. There is a 72-hour window that we have to notify the dog owner. We, as one councilman, should not be out there rallying and getting people fired up and coming to the meeting tonight, because it was not on the meeting. Just think about that. Go ahead.
So do you think one councilman did that tonight?
Just think about that. I don't know.
I don't-
Nobody else knew about
I
it.
guess I don't understand the accusation you're making.
I'm not making an accusations. I'm saying the hearing is not on the agenda tonight. So for somebody to bring people into the meeting tonight, then it's not on the agenda. You might want to think about that a little bit.
I guess that doesn't make any sense.
Well, we can talk about that.
Well,
We can talk about
well,
that.
you're making an accusation, and I don't really
I'm
appreciate it.
not making this accusation. I'm saying we can talk about this after the meeting. If that's okay with you.
That's fine. But
Thank you. Now we have our reports.
And I'll just say that we never want to see any dog bites, and we never want to see any nuisances. So we'll continue to work hard to try to get those tackled. There's always room for improvement, and so we'll continue to work on those things. That's all I got.
Any questions?
I got a question for Doug.
Oh, Doug get started first.
Yep, I
Go ahead. Thank you, Chief.
So, had court today for 312 First Street Southwest. Court, we won. And then I was also supposed to have court for 924th Avenue Southeast. That was actually continued by city's representation. However, we have been in touch, or I've been in touch with the Department of Justice, IRS attorney out in Washington, D.C. about that property. And they advised they have some people hired to clean that up and clean that out, and in preparation they'll either sell it or auction it here in the near future. So we've continued ours because it was kind of one of those things where property owner had it one day and next day he didn't, and everything overlapped a little bit. So we had some stuff going on and had to figure it all out, and I've been able to talk to the right people. So anyway, and that's all I was going to have for tonight, so I'll entertain your questions.
Mr. Lamos.
The public comment by David Johnson, is there a broken storm sewer there or something?
No, he misspoke a little bit. He had some of it right. It was not a sanitary sewer problem. So I'd actually given him some advice. You know, our stormwater system is completely separate than our sanitary, right? In his area, there is stormwater sewer from the cities, but there's also
County drainage
county
district.
drainage district that runs down through that way. Now, having said that, I believe the problem personally was an internal problem with his plumbing. It was just unfortunate mistiming because of all the heavy rains we've been getting. And yes, many of our storm sewers take slow when you get a 100-year or 500-year rain event. So I just beg for people to have some patience to let our drains do their thing. But when you start getting 2 inches in a half hour or within an hour, we can't afford to design a stormwater system for that, and nor do we have that. But anyway, I think that was one of the things, I believe south of his property, there was some slow drainage going on that appeared to be slow drainage because the amount of water we had. I think in his thought process was that it was probably due to that. It was not. All of the plumbing in his house drained and worked perfectly except for his floor drain for some reason, so I did give him some advice, and he seemed to be pretty pleased with what I advised him. He was going to reach out to a local plumber and get things fixed.
Does he have a sump pump?
That was one of the things I recommended.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Tar? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Dunt,
Nothing to report unless anybody has any questions.
Lamos.
Have you heard anything from the Tower Center? They're doing testing there.
Yeah.
Is that chromium or what is it?
I don't know what the chemical was, but that's been monitored for years and reporting to the DNR. They have to report to the DNR. A couple weeks ago, we were contacted regarding to sign a DOT permit because they wanted to put the property owner, along with the prior owner, wanted to put in something inside, some more monitoring wells. And so it's all related to decades ago contamination. What they're doing now is they're going to remediate the problem. They're going to go down and get out the problem, which is evidently didn't happen in the past.
In regards to the spending on the fence and the cleanup, aren't you authorized that you can spend $30,000 without council approval?
Well, on this situation, I felt it was important that you're all brought up to speed, and before you see an expenditure of that nature without discussion and improving, I just felt it was better to bring it to you.
Is the handbook, is that online in the city
I don't
website?
think
Okay. That's all I have.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Tar? Or Dunt? I'm getting backing up here a minute. All right, hearing none, thank you, sir. Council reports, Mr. Davies.
Well, the American Legion is accepting bench donations. There's some information in paper, and I'll be getting some posters out and publicizing that. Save the date for the Main Street in America visit is August 13th. I got invitations out, so your participation would be greatly appreciated. And then the Christian Motorcyclists Association had a very successful state rally last weekend, and they certainly would like to come back and just thank everyone involved, especially the city, for their help. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Holmstrom.
No, I have no report tonight. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Mr. Lamos.
I would like to say that I know Matt and Tracy, the mail carriers, and they are some of the hardest working carriers that the city has, or I'd put them up against anybody. And it's just sad that something like this has to happen. It's, you could talk for an hour on that issue, but it's just, I hope that he's healed and back to work. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Palmer.
I just kind of want to state the obvious, but maybe it's not the obvious, is is I certainly support our city staff, the chief, the public works director, and city manager 100%. Just because I ask a pointed question or want to know about a process has nothing to do with the way that you operate. I just want to get an answer and maybe a better way. But no, just because I wasn't let know about a dog bite, or we weren't let know about a dog bite, and we kind of got ahead of ourselves on it, doesn't mean that anything was wrong, just means that next time we do it different. And so anyway, I support the folks here, and that's all I've got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Griffey?
August 19th, the Faith and Four Letter Word ladies are coming again to town. They packed the Windsor Theater last year. They are phenomenal. To try to build on that event a little bit, we're going to have the wine slushies in Peace Plaza and live music for a couple hours before the ladies perform at the Windsor Theater. And if you'd like to join in, please do. The live music and wine slushies will be from 4 to 6. The ladies program begins at, and it's not just ladies, I mean, it's just two ladies presenting. Their program begins at 6 p.m. and it runs about 2 hours, and it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So, and their tickets are available online. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Ms. Rhodey?
I don't have anything tonight.
All right, thank you. Mayor report, I just have a couple of items that I wanted to bring up. Number one, our UTV and our slow moving vehicle signs. I'm starting to see them on our UTVs, and that's a good thing. We're enforcing that. It needs to be in there. It's a rule. It's the law. The one thing that I did notice on one, they had one about this big on their back of their car, and there is a requirement of 14 by 16 inches that it has to be big. It can't be like from your dash. So I just want to say that I am seeing it. Both my neighbors that have them, they got theirs on. So hopefully it's catching on and we're doing it correct, the right thing. Second thing, I wanted to commend the fair board, the PD, and the sheriff's department. We all know about the rain that happened during the fair and the mud puddle that we had out there west of the fairgrounds. And I think everybody did a great job working together, providing parking. The fair went on as it should have, and I think a lot of people had a good time. A little dirty, but you know, it is what it is. But we get it done. It's going to rain at fair time, whether it's the whole week or not. So I appreciate the efforts there. Next thing item is our skate park. I've received several positive comments on our new skate park, and I did go by today, and there was probably 5 or 6 kids playing on it, so it's getting used. One of our former residents here, his mom actually lives here part of the year. Craig Christensen called me when his nieces and nephews were in town, and his concern was the trash. People weren't picking up their trash. He went out and picked it out for us. He loves the parks, and I advised him that we were working on getting a trash can in there, and hopefully people will use it, once we get it in there. But it is being used, and people are liking it, and I think we need to keep moving forward and perfecting it as we need to. Next item, flower pots. People love our pots. So several people have mentioned it to me. I just wanted to give Jerry a shout out for coordinating the watering. I've done it twice so far, but I'm there for an emergency. But it looks good downtown, and people talk about it, and it's a good thing, and that will just get bigger.
Chamber.
Yep.
And the city, thank you for your support.
Last thing, I'm going to bring this up for a couple more months. We have an election in November. The papers are available on August 25th, and they need to be turned in by September 18th. This year, we have Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 at large, and the mayor's seat is up for election this year. So people that have a good, positive things that they need to get done for this city, get your name in. We're looking for people always, and if there's anybody that can do it better than me, I would step aside in a heartbeat. However, it is open, and the permanent papers will be available just a hair over a month from today. So it's coming up. That's all I got. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I got a motion by Ms. Griefy, second by Mr. Lamos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So, for the last past situation with my son passed away, the family put attention in us, my wife and I. And I had all the branches, the Army branches, family. My son, he's in Alaska, he's sergeant, he's airborne over there. And my granddaughter, she's in Portland, and she's in Navy. And my other grandson, he's in the Sarasota, he's in the Air Force. So all the family, is in the Army, in the United States. So I showed them, when they coming to visit to me, we had new area beside my house, and they told me, oh, that looks ugly now. He said, yeah, but the city, they care us, and now they supporting to me, I request to, and I showed them the picture for the fence, and they told me, and whatever support to us, my wife and I now, they say, thank you very much. And they told me, told the council, we in the Army, we defend, we love this country, and I'm here to, and we happen to defend the families. I'm here. So, it's the message for them. So, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Ms. Griefy, second by Mr. Lamos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you. Right. Oh, yeah.